Good morning, fam, people, friends. How are we? Oh my god, today is such a good day. Alright, the last video was a bit all over the place because, to be fair, I got riled up. The more my camera kept stopping, and then I had to start again and find my train of thought. And yeah, the more I talk about the subject, the more it just like makes my mind explode. It's so ridiculous. But today we have a win on sanity. Thank God. I've woken up and it's like such a great day. So get whatever you need. Get your coffee. Well, I've got my little coffee here. Get a wine, whatever time of day it is for you. Got my little keto toast here. And let's get into this. I am just going to go straight to the videos and we're going to watch it because there's not really too much for me to say except like I'm so happy. I've got a little bit of hope back for humanity and for sanity, that things are kind of making a turn now, and for women's sports and for people and for children in general as well. So we've got 3 stories at the moment and they're all good. They're all good stories. All right, let's do this.
Announcing a ban on transgender athletes at more than 100 county-run facilities and ballparks. It is the first ban of its kind in the country and is already garnering backlash from LGBTQ advocates. Long Island reporter Shantae Lands was there for that bombshell announcement, Shantae, and you join us now live in Mineola.
Charlene, bombshell is a great word. In fact, backlash, even better. It's over my right shoulder here. You can see the protesters against that new executive order that he signed. I want to get you straight to some video of him signing that order. Again, banning transgender athletes from competing in county-run facilities. It is possibly the first of its kind in this nation. Blakeman was joined by female athletes and Kim Russell, who's a former women's lacrosse coach, reassigned at a college in Ohio after speaking out against transgender girls competing against biological females. There was also young girls there, young youth athletes who participate here in Nassau County. Now, what makes it a little bit unclear is the actual school, how school will play a role into this, because if the schools are okay with it, but they can't compete at county facilities, that makes it a little dicey trying to figure out, for example, which track meet or games they can play and which they can't. Either way, the LGBTQ community outraged. Here on the steps, I also spoke with Blakeman afterwards. He says this is the right choice.
This is not precluding anybody from participating in sports. What it is, it's identifying that there are women and girls who spend a tremendous amount of time and effort to excel and compete in their sports that are women's sports. And it is an unfair advantage for someone who is a biological male to compete against a biological female.
I'm profoundly disappointed in Nassau County Executive for announcing this illegal, discriminatory executive order that only harms one group of people, and that's our transgender youth. You know, there's absolutely no reason for this announcement or this ban other than to be a political stunt.
Well, that was David Kilnick. He's actually the president of the LGBT network here on Long Island. Now, as far as this new rule, it applies only for biological males who want to play on the female team. It does not apply to girls who.
Okay, so what we have there is some joy for the people of New York and Long Island anyway. And hopefully this is something that's going to keep continuing around the place. I'm really hoping. So let me just give a little clap to that guy who did all that and everyone that fought for that and made it happen. The guy at the end who's the head of the LGBTQ, I don't really give a shit if he doesn't like it. It only hurts one group is what he's saying. No, you're only thinking about one group. The whole group that you're trying to infiltrate, women, that's who it's hurting. You know, just think about that for a second. Sorry, dude. All right, there's another one that we're going to go to now. All right, let's watch that. Side note, with the last one thing I will say is it only pertains to females, men joining female sports, but I think the ban should be across the board. It should go both ways. Now, while you might say, oh, there's no threat if for women playing men's sports, technically, no. No threat there's not a big threat for them to take over. There is definitely a threat for injuries to occur, and I can go both ways, and hear me out. The first way is all female to male, they're on testosterone. I've already seen there was a high school wrestler who was made to play in it was a female to male, and she was made to fight the girls, fight in her own category of birth, which is fair. But they did not take into consideration that this chick's been on testosterone for how long, and obviously, so basically it's like the girls are fighting boys now. So in that sense, there's still an issue and some danger there, and I would be really wary, even for the men. So if the female was to fight, was to compete with men, we've also seen in boxing. There's one chick who I did start doing a thing about, but I need to do a little bit deeper. So she fights on like De La Hoya's cards and stuff like that, Golden Boy Promotions, and was a good fighter before she transitioned with fighting as a female. But obviously the advantage of being on testosterone on the male level and already being, if you're at an elite-ish level, and then fighting bums now, or just people that aren't as technically good, she might be having a higher testosterone level than men on their natural testosterone level now that's induced. So we don't know. That's another thing that's not really been discussed.